As of 2018, over 102 million miles of roads have been mapped around the world. While most of these roads are newly paved and well-maintained, many stray from the beaten path, demanding tough vehicles and skilled drivers to tackle them. Some of these roads feature sharp turns, steep cliffs, avalanche dangers, and seismic activity, making them so perilous that they have claimed the lives of those who've been unlucky enough to encounter them. So, let's dive into today's video, where we explore the most extreme roads in the world. Atlantic Ocean Road. Let's start our list of extreme roads with Norway's Atlantic Ocean Road. What makes this route so fascinating is that, despite being one of the world's most dangerous roads, it's also considered one of the most breathtaking scenic drives. So, if you plan on taking in the sights, make sure to buckle up. This Norwegian road features the iconic Storseisundet Bridge, also known as the Bridge to Nowhere. With a ramp-like approach that seems to stretch up into the sky, it's a thrilling ride. Once you conquer the height, you'll find yourself driving along the edge of the sea, where the real adventure begins. While the views of the Norwegian Sea are stunning, the power of the waves crashing over the road during storms can make it feel like nature is pulling you back into the depths. Kotawasi Canyon Road. The Kotawasi Canyon Road starts along the Pan American Highway near Arequipa, and much of this rugged route remains unpaved. It's often obstructed by rocks and pebbles of varying sizes, not to mention the risk of loose rocks tumbling down the canyon walls. Conditions only worsen during the rainy season. The road's challenges are so severe that the entire journey takes around 10 to 12 hours, making it a feat only for the most resilient travelers. Only four-wheel drive vehicles stand a chance of completing the trip. This treacherous road is so notorious that it deters even the bravest tourists and adventurers. Kotawasi Canyon, the third deepest in the world, is twice as deep as the Grand Canyon, offering an immense drop. The road is filled with some of the tightest, most perilous hairpin turns and steep drop-offs in the world. And don't even think about rolling down your window for a breeze. This extreme path reaches heights of 15,000 feet, where the thin air makes breathing as challenging as navigating the road itself. Taroko Gorge Road. The Taroko Gorge Road, located in Taiwan, spans just under 12 miles. While the journey along this winding path can be a challenging one, it also presents some of the most breathtaking views on Earth. Carved through the very mountains it traverses, the road offers a thrilling yet risky experience. Despite its dangers, it attracts daring tourists from all over the world. So, don't be surprised to see a mix of tour buses, cars, scooters, cyclists, and even pedestrians all navigating this narrow, stone-laden route. It's a bit unnerving to imagine, but people tackle it daily, even with its sharp curves and blind spots. Beyond these twists and turns, the road is frequently impacted by rockfalls, floods, landslides, and occasional earthquakes. Surviving this 12-mile stretch in one piece feels like a miracle, especially with the frequent heavy rainfall and typhoons that damage the road, often making parts of it nearly impassable. Karakoram Highway. Stretching 810 miles between China and Pakistan, the Karakoram Highway is often dubbed the eighth wonder of the world, and it's easy to see why. With stunning views, it exemplifies how nature's most breathtaking landscapes can also be some of the deadliest. At its highest point, more than 15,000 feet above sea level, the air is thin, and your breath can literally be taken away. But that's not all. Travelers face landslides, falling rocks, floods, avalanches, and treacherous cliffs, making the journey as perilous as it is popular. The road follows much of the ancient Silk Road, one of the most vital trade routes in history. However, the highway as we know it today was built starting in 1959, and during its construction, around 1,000 workers lost their lives due to dynamite blasts and landslides. Tragically, 17 people perished when their bus plunged into a gorge after the driver took a sharp turn too quickly. Just a month before that, a landslide struck a van, killing a tourist. Fairy Meadows Road. Don't be deceived by the name. Fairy Meadows Road is far from sweet. Nestled in Pakistan, this stunning yet perilous mountain path stretches just under 10 miles, but the dangers along the way will make it feel like the longest 10 miles of your life. The road is primarily an unstable gravel trail at a dizzying altitude of about 8,000 feet, with numerous sharp turns that could end your trip if you're not careful with your speed. While the destination is breathtaking, focusing too much on the scenery could have you realizing a bit too late that there are no guardrails to stop a vehicle from plunging off the edge. This road is not for the faint of heart. Beginning at the Karakoram Highway and leading to the village of Tato, the route can accommodate vehicles larger than a Jeep, but it eventually narrows to a point where the rest of the journey must be made on foot. 99 Bend Road to Heaven. You've probably heard of the Stairway to Heaven, but let me introduce you to the 99 Bend Road to Heaven, located in China. This treacherous road twists and turns through Tiananmen Mountain National Park, and true to its name, it features 99 hairpin turns perched hundreds of feet in the air. The road's construction took 8 years, finally finishing in 2006. What's fascinating about this road is how it blends culture, history, and human ingenuity. To reach it, you first have to drive along Tongchang Avenue, also known as the Avenue to Heaven. The 99 bends are no coincidence, they symbolize the 9 palaces of heaven. As you ascend, you'll feel as though you're journeying toward the divine. And at the top, you'll find Heaven's Gate, a natural rock arch once thought to be the bridge between gods and mortals. Guoyang Tunnel. In the past, the only way to reach the remote Chinese village of Guoyang was via a narrow, dangerous path carved into the side of the Taihang Mountains. While the route offered breathtaking views, it was incredibly treacherous, and a single misstep could lead to disaster. The villagers, however, weren't waiting around for government intervention. In 1972, a small group of 13 determined individuals decided to take matters into their own hands and dig a tunnel through the mountains. Why navigate around them when they could go straight through? With no access to modern machinery like excavators, bulldozers, or even dynamite, they resorted to digging by hand. Yes, 26 hands, and 5 long years to carve out a tunnel about 3/4 of a mile long, 16 feet tall, and 13 feet wide. While the Guoyang Tunnel isn't the largest in the world, the sheer determination behind its creation deserves respect. During the toughest phases, the group could only manage about 3 feet of progress a day. The endeavor was so grueling that 3 people lost their lives in the process. In the end, the tunnel transformed life for the villagers, providing easier access in and out of their isolated community. Over the years, it has also become a popular tourist attraction. But be warned, without barriers or lighting, the road is hazardous, especially at night. Locals now call it the road that does not tolerate mistakes, a name that perfectly captures the perilous nature of the journey. Dalton Highway. Drivers planning to travel the Dalton Highway in Alaska should come prepared, as they'll need to bring everything with them. There are no hospitals, hotels, restaurants, or gas stations for a 400-mile stretch. Much of the highway is unpaved gravel, making the journey particularly dangerous, especially in poor weather conditions. The steep grades only add to the challenge. If drivers aren't cautious, even vehicles with all-wheel drive can struggle with slipping and sliding. But the hazards don't end there. The area is so remote and desolate that wildlife feels secure enough to roam the roads, putting drivers in potentially perilous situations. A split-second decision could mean the difference between hitting an animal or avoiding it, but swerving could send your vehicle out of control on the loose gravel. It's a tough road to navigate, and exceeding the speed limit is never a good idea. In winter, conditions worsen to the point that even the most experienced ice road truckers won't attempt it, and avalanches only add to the peril.